smash that like button and that subscribe button so you'll be notified when a new episode drops. And so where are we gonna start off at? There's been so much sports action. Haven't been here in a while, so let's start this off with UFC 256. It was the fastest turnaround for a champ in UFC history. I think it was like 20 something days. It was under 30 days. Davison Figueiredo is showing that he's really trying to be a fan favorite after so many years of, to me, Mighty Mouse is most technically sound fighter of anyone of all time. But he wasn't. His style wasn't popular. The numbers don't lie. So Davison Figueiredo is trying to change that. He's trying to finish people and just make exciting fights and just fight often. So it was a quick turnaround for him. And actually Brandon Moreno, it was a quick turnaround for him too because they both fought on the same card. And it was definitely an amazing fight. People calling it fight of the year. Ended in a draw, and so Figueiredo kept his belt. There was a point deduction for a groin shot, and okay, so they take that point away. I still only had Moreno winning one round in that fight. I don't see how you gave him more than one round. In the second round, he'd gotten a takedown, but he did absolutely nothing with it after getting lit up for a majority of the round on the feet. So I don't see how you give him the round if all he did was a takedown with nothing coming from it. He didn't go for he did no damage, no submission attempts, nothing. So Figueiredo kept the belt, so I guess the belt stayed where it was supposed to go, and I don't have any issue with, because it was a great fight, so I don't have any issue with them doing an immediate rematch. I honestly don't see how Brandon Moreno wins the fight, unless he's able to tire Figueiredo out more than this last fight. But Figueiredo just has so much more power. His shots did so much more damage. Moreno never. I guess he might have kind of had him hurt a little while there, but it was never in question. I never was wondering what was going to happen with the fight or anything like that. But an all around great fight. This took place at the Apex Center in Las Vegas in that smaller cage. So it was just a very good fight. Very good fight. Let's see, where are we gonna the co-main of the evening was Tony Ferguson, Charles Oliveira. And this was Tony Ferguson's first fight since that Justin Gaethje beat down. And so this was really trying to make sure, or trying to see if he was where his head was at, how he was gonna come back from that fight, because that was a pretty vicious beating. He basically quit. When he got when he one of those shots, I think his orbital was. You can't blame the guy, but still, he basically waved the white flag and called it off. And if this somehow, without being a finish, was even more dominating. The final score for Charles Oliveira was three scores of 30-26. So that's a pretty vicious beatdown. It was just complete domination. Tony was never in the fight at all. Charles Oliveira had, just really since he stepped up to lightweight, is proven to be a legit contender. But yeah, this might be the end of it for Tony Ferguson. At least the end of it for as a title contender. Still probably, lesser talent, he's probably going to be legit. He's still got such an unorthodox style. Good in stand-up, good on the ground. But yeah, I don't know. After those two defeats, and you can't take anything. Gaethje is an animal. Charles Oliveira is an animal. But the way he got beat, it's not good. You don't usually come back from getting beat like that 2 times in a row. And Tony Ferguson is not young. He's 36 years old. So we'll see. What else we had? Mackenzie Dern against Verna Jandiroba, and Mackenzie Dern got her stand-up game was pretty impressive. She won a stand-up fight. It was not on the ground. It hardly was on the ground at all. It was all boxing and kickboxing. She looked pretty impressive. I can't say. I don't have enough good compliments to say about her. I think she's been training with Jason Perillo, of Michael Bisping and BJ Penn fame. So yeah, no, she's legit. Was our other fight on the main card was Kevin Holland against Jacare Souza, and Kevin Holland. I mean, I think he had 5 fights this year, all wins. And I mean, can't say enough about him. Jacare was able to get the takedown and wasn't able to do anything with it. And then Jacare was in top position, and Colin got a little bit of space. And literally the combination started. He was on his back, landed a punch that stunned Jacare, and then he was able to just slowly stand up and keep landing shots. And I've never seen a finish like that where the guy was able to finish him from his back with strikes. I mean, as a coach, I'd tell my fighter not even to really throw strikes from his back. I mean, you're just wasting strikes. But Kevin Holland, that was an impressive finish. I mean, I can't wait to see what he does in the. I mean, because Souza's up there, so I can't wait to see what he's got in store for these next great contenders. Let's see. The first fight of the main card was Junior Dos Santos against Cyril Gagné, and I mean, Dos Santos is probably done. He's probably about the same as Tony Ferguson. He's just a gatekeeper at this point. Cyril Gagné, I mean, was just a little bit faster, a little more technical, and then was able to finish it with a KO. So, yeah, Cyril Gagné, we look forward to seeing what he's going to have in store as he steps up in competition. And then there was, let's see, on the undercard, that was a great fight. Cub Swanson against Daniel Pineda. Cub Swanson landed an amazing knockout shot that ended it. And then also Renato Moicano against Rafael Fiziev. And Fiziev looks vicious. His stand-up is really good. He's got some amazing kickboxing. So definitely look forward to seeing more of him. Let's see. Then this past weekend, we had it was a fight night. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson against Jeff Neal. Let's see, the main. This was a pretty good card too. Anthony Pettis was on the prelims, and he got a nice win against Alex Moreno. The main card started out with Marcin Tybura against Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy came out looking good. His tech, every fight, his technique looks a little better. His takedown defense was pretty good, but clearly where he needs to work on is his ground game. Because once Tybura got the fight to the ground, Greg Hardy looked like a fish out of water. It looked like he'd never been taken down in his life. He was just covering up just like he'd never been beat on before. And I mean, that's sometimes even as green as he is, I assume in the gym there's not too many guys who can just ragdoll him or anything. And you kind of have to be put in those positions for you to be able to get out of them. If you're always the bully on the block, sometimes you don't know how to not be the bully until you're getting bullied. So it is what it is, but I'm still optimistic about. I mean, he's seemed to get a little better every fight, and if he can just work on his ground game, I mean, he's gonna be something a vicious contender. But can't take anything away from Marcin Tybura. Nice win. Our next fight of the evening was Marlon Moraes against Rob Font, and Rob Font came out looking good. Moraes is nothing to play with, and Rob Font just lit him up and just landed some nice shots and got the KO. Rob Font's gonna be going places in the bantamweight division. Let's see. Our next fight of the evening was Michael Pereira against Chaos Williams. And it wasn't necessarily the usual Pereira. He normally is all flashy, but he had to respect Chaos Williams because Chaos Williams has some vicious power. So he came out, but it was a good fight. It is nice to show. I mean, I think his last fight he was impressive with his technique and everything too. So he's not all flash. He's also got some good technical skills to him. Our co-main event of the evening was Jose Aldo against Marlon Vera. And Jose Aldo looked, I mean, it seems like he's to the point in his career where he just can't win the belt. But everything under the belt, and he's got it. I mean, he looked good. He looked good. Landed some vicious shots. Marlon Vera is tough because Jose Aldo landed some shots that would have put anyone else out. It's good to see him get back in the win column. But I mean, is he going to be happy being this gatekeeper? He's never going to be champ again. He cannot beat the top guys. So it is what it is. He's at the gatekeeper level, but I mean, he's still giving good fights. Let's see. Our main event of the evening was Stephen Wonderboy Thompson against Jeff Neal. And it was good to see Jeff Neal step up in competition, but he just wasn't ready. Wonderboy Thompson showed why there's levels to this, and he was just one step ahead. And it was funny. There at one point, after Wonderboy had landed a hard shot to Jeff Neal's face, he asked him, "Are you all right?" Wonderboy is like the nice country boy who's in a sport full of killers. But I mean, can't take anything from him. I mean, he's given good fights to everybody. So we'll see what he's able to do in his next fight, if he gets another championship fight, or even a championship number one contenders fight. So we'll see. So let's see. Coming up in January, we're going to be going back to Yaz Island, Fight Island. First, we're going to have Holloway versus Qatar. That should be a nice fight. See, this is going to be the first Max Holloway's first fight since losing his belt and then trying to get the belt back. So we'll see if he's still got that hunger to get back up the mountain. Cater is legit. So we're going to see. I mean, Cater's going to have better boxing. But I think Holloway's probably got better all around stand up and then better on the ground. So I don't know. I would like to say Max Holloway, but we'll see. And then the week after that, where it's going to be Dustin Poirier against Conor McGregor. So that should be a war. I hope Poirier wins. We'll see. This is a rematch. I feel like his game's evolved. But I mean, after the way McGregor dismantled Cowboy, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. In boxing action, I think last weekend we had Shakur Stevenson. He'd picked up a nice win. That was a pretty nice victory against who is this guy's name? Con Clary. I mean, not one of the top guys or anything, but it's still as Stevenson climbs the ladder. It's definitely impressive. So we'll look forward to seeing more of him. And then we also saw Triple G against Zerameda, and it was. I mean, he got a nice knockout, Triple G, but I'd never even heard of the guy he was fighting. I mean, it's just another guy. I mean, they got to give him these fights to try to make another Canelo fight interesting, but it might be done for Triple G. He's 38 years old. I don't know that he's going to be. I feel like another Canelo fight, definitely Triple G loses and possibly even gets knocked out. Because the way Canelo looked against Caleb Smith, and no, Caleb Smith isn't one of the top guys in the world, but he was the 168 champ, and Canelo just completely dismantled him. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see, because Canelo's been taking all comers, and he's been dominating. So I mean, as it is right now, it's between Canelo and Bud Crawford to me for pound number ones. And I mean, if it comes to their actual competition, then Canelo's the clear-cut favorite, because Bud's still really, I mean, he doesn't have the victories yet. I mean, we're just going off of eye test at this point. But let's see, in NFL action, As the season's winding down, it's this week 14, I think it was, or week 15, one of them. Let's see, we got the Bills are in first in in their division. The Steelers are in first in their division, even though they're on a 3-game losing streak. The Titans are tied with the Colts for first. The Chiefs are in first. The NFC East is still up in the air. Washington's leading the division with a 6-8 record. The Packers are leading their division. The Saints are leading their division, and the Seahawks are leading their division. If the playoffs started today, it looks like we would have the Chiefs would be first seed, Bills second seed, and Steelers third seed, Titans fourth, Browns, then Colts, then Dolphins. And then in the NFC, we'd have the Packers, Saints, Seahawks, Washington, then the Rams and the Buccaneers and Cardinals. So the playoffs are shaping up nicely. We're going to see this. There's the big games that are going to be coming up this week. I guess it was week 14 and in week 15. Let's see, or no, I guess that was week 15. Week 16 is what's coming up. Where are we at here? Technical difficulties. Here we go. All right. But so let's see. First, we'll have the Vikings against the Saints. That should be the Saints need to pull that off if they're wanting to move up any spots in the playoffs. The Buccaneers against the Lions, they need that win. The 49ers against the Cardinals need to win. Dolphins against the Raiders, the Dolphins need that win. The Bears, the Jags, I mean, neither one of those teams is going anywhere, even though they're both my teams. They got to keep it real. They're not going anywhere. The Jags are shooting for the number one pick in the draft, and the Bears are just shooting themselves in the foot, it looks like. Let's see. The Falcons against the Chiefs. The Chiefs should win that. They're trying to keep home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And the Browns against the Jets. The Browns they're trying to catch the Steelers. That might come down to the last game of the season. And we got the Colts against the Steelers. Both those teams need the win. The Giants against the Ravens. The Ravens need that win. The Bengals against the Texans. Two horrible teams. The Broncos against the Chargers. Two crappy teams. Let's see. Panthers against Washington. Washington needs that win to stay in first. And the Eagles against the Cowboys. That could be an important win too, because I mean that division is still up in the air. Then the Rams against the Seahawks, they both need those wins. The Titans, Packers, that's going to be a big game. And then finally the Bills against the Patriots. The Patriots just trying to play spoiler on the Bills. And so, so this season's moving along. And then what do we got? We finally got the NBA season. Looks like it's about to take off. This is going to be the shortest break in NBA history. I think it was only like 70-some days in between the championship, the playoffs, and the start of this season. So we're going to see. It's going to first game tonight is going to be Golden State against the Brooklyn Nets. That's gonna be big. We're gonna see Kevin Durant. We saw him a little bit in the preseason, and he looks like he hasn't lost a step since that Achilles injury. But I mean, the regular season, that's the real thing. And this is gonna be the first time he's been back to Golden State, so that should put a little drama into it. In Golden State, they're looking to get back into being a legitimate contender again. Last year, after 5 years in the championship, they weren't able to do anything. I mean, had the worst record in the NBA. So after so many players had gotten hurt, and then our second game of the evening will be the Clippers against the Lakers, and this was the game that was supposed to be the Western Conference Championship, but the Clippers got ousted by Denver. So looking forward to this game. We'll see if Kawhi is going to be able to put it back together. There's so much unrest in the off season. Everyone pointing fingers and putting blame on each other. So we'll see. The Lakers, I mean, they made some moves in the offseason, try to get a little better. They lost some players, but they also made some moves. So we'll see how Montrezl Harrell and Dennis Schroeder are able to fit into the offense. And if they really miss Rajon Rondo or Avery Bradley. But yeah, so that was our sports news. Remember, you can find us on YouTube at Trauma Television, because this is a Trauma Television production, and also on Facebook at Trauma Television. You can find us on Facebook, on a Big Scary, and on Twitter at Big Scary. And as Martin Luther King said, the arc of the moral universe is long.